So welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to do my first impressions of Atelier Ryza 3. I was graciously given a review copy for this video, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. This is not a review, this is my first impression, so I'm not gonna go too deep into any of these topics. They're just surface level from what I've been playing so far. So I got this code like a week early, and it was hard to contain myself while I was playing it because, you know, embargo and all that jazz. But now I get to spill all the good stuff in this game, and I've been loving it so far. First, I'm going to tackle the story. Now, do keep in mind, I'm not that much into the game, so there's still stuff I don't know. First things first, a lot of people are going to ask me, can you go into Ryza 3 without playing the first and the second? And I could confidently say you don't have to, but, and this is a big but, I would recommend that you play 1 and 2 first. I mean, it says 3 on the tin for a reason. It is the third in the series and the last in the trilogy, so you're gonna miss out on a bunch of character interactions and impacts if you just jump into 3. But with that being said, you could just jump into 3 and still have a good time. And they also have this feature which is very neat. It kind of gives you a recap of what happened in Ryza 1 and Ryza 2. So if you haven't played in a while or you haven't played at all, you could watch the little preview to get caught up onto the story. That's why I say you could jump into Ryza 3 without playing 1 and 2, though it's not recommended. So Koei Tecmo themselves stated that this game is around 30 hours to beat the main story and 60 hours if you want to do side content and all that jazz. So Ryza 3 begins like all her other adventures in the summer. This game takes place a year after the events of Ryza 2. This time, strange islands have been appearing. Ryza, curious and always having that spark of adventure, decides to investigate the islands with her friends. Eventually, they discover ruins in a massive gate. As Ryza approaches these gates, a strange voice inside echoes in her head, telling her to reach the code of the universe. And it so happens, the key that we synthesized in the beginning plays a huge role in this game. And this sets in motion the last summer adventure with Ryza and her friends. I've been really enjoying what I've been playing so far. The story is going a lot like an Atelier kind of story. Slice of life, a little bit hectic because islands everywhere and earthquakes and stuff, but pretty basic Atelier fanfare if you ask me, and I love it. And we have the whole gang back together, the original and plus new characters too. We have the titular Ryza. I love Ryza as a character. She's really mischievous, creative, curious, and a very nice person overall. And then there's Ryza's friend, and that is Claudia. Claudia's back, but she's running her own business, doing her own thing. Tao comes back from the capital. He's more confident than ever. I remember in the first game, he was very timid and shy, but he kind of broke out of that shell. And then there's Lent, who I don't like Lent as a character because he's pretty bland. Now, according to Koei Tecmo, there is about 11 playable characters. So we have the characters from the first game and the second game make a comeback in like this Avengers style kind of final boss showdown, which is pretty cool. So those are the story stuff, but what changed in the game? That's what I'm going to go to next, and that is the gameplay. As with any sequel, you expect iterations of past mechanics. Ryza 3 does not disappoint in this department. They added a bunch of quality of life improvements to make the journey bearable. One thing they added is the active missions that show up in the side UI, rather than you having to open up a journal to look at it. Additionally, you are given a compass that helps you navigate to your destination, and that is seen on the top. It's kind of like the Skyrim compass. I'm glad for this addition because there were moments in the past game where I had to guess where to go or get lost, and I get lost a lot. Even with the compass, sometimes I'd be getting lost. So I don't know if there's any help for me in that department. This all helps with navigating and exploring because these maps could be big. That is the next thing I want to talk about. The map and scope of this game is way bigger than before. It's kind of a bit bigger than Ryza 2, but there's just more variety and stuff going on. Now, there are landmarks you want to hit, so in case you have to go back or something, you can fast travel to these landmarks, and it makes exploring more easier and faster. And there's also different ways to explore, like swimming. You can even ride a dolphin. And there's also zip lines, so if you find the 2 points and connect them, you could attach a rope and you could zip right through, making traveling way more easier than it already is. As for gathering, it is easier than ever. In the past Ryza games, you had to stop in place to pick up the materials, but in this game, it is all done in a smooth animation. So now you could just go to a item, pick it up, and zoom. Also, I forgot to mention, Ryza got a speed boost. She runs really fast for some reason. It's like, phew! Now all these materials have to be used for something, and that takes me to, you guessed it, the synthesis, the alchemy of the game, the meat and potatoes, and the reason why I love these games. Now Atelier Ryza 3 has a very simplistic alchemy to it. It's a lot like the first one and the second one. The alchemy carries over the mechanics from the past two games. Specific recipes have material loops that allow you to synthesize items by adding the correct number of materials. Of course, adding the objects associated with the loops element will have that level up, unlocking the recipe's latent effects. So the alchemy in this game is very fun and satisfying, and I know I'm going to be having a great time with it. And I can't wait to see all the hidden mechanics that go with it. There's also this thing called super traits, which enhances the trait it already has. If you like the alchemy from the first two games, then you're gonna love this one. And like the previous game, you could auto-synthesize materials. If you want to make bulk items of material that you need to make a different material, like ignits, you're gonna need a lot of ignits, so having a auto-synthesizing button is very useful. Now I would say that Atelier Sophie 2 still has the best alchemy in my opinion, because I like the whole Tetris coloring thing, but the alchemy in Ryza is still top notch, and I understand why a lot of people love it. Though gone is the alchemy skill levels. Instead of leveling up, you get skill points that you could use for the skill tree that was introduced in Atelier Ryza 2. So if you're familiar with that, that's kind of what they went here with 3. Now what really got a facelift was the combat in this game. They didn't change it too much, it's a lot like the first two, but they added a bunch of features to make it more engaging and fun. Combat is heavily combo based. To increase the tactics level, the higher the combo count for your regular attacks. As the chain goes and as your skill points grow, this will become faster, and also you could change characters mid-waiting. So let's say you're waiting for Ryza, you could go to Claudia and do an attack from there. It's very dynamic and it keeps you on your toes. Some might say it's pretty chaotic, and at the beginning I was like, whoa, this is a lot. But as you get used to it and the different ways you could string combos, it becomes way more satisfying and fun. Now, the difficulty has gone up in this game. The bosses do not hold back. You're going to want to put the difficulty how you see fit. There's easy, normal, hard, and very hard. So now on to the series key mechanic. Get it? Because it's key and it's also key. So in the beginning of the game, Ryza unlocks the power to create keys. Let's just say she has the master key. And no, we're not going to see a Kingdom Hearts Atelier crossover. That would be awesome, but I highly doubt it. So the key that Ryza creates has the ability to multiply different keys depending how you use it. If you use the keys on the field, you can create better quality items and help you explore the land. If you're synthesizing, you could use the keys to boost an item's stats, and you can use these keys in battle. These keys are really handy in this game, and I haven't even scratched the surface on what they could do. Now on to the graphics and performance. I got a code for the Nintendo Switch, which thank you Koei Tecmo. The game looks very, very good on the Switch, but it is a Switch game. Sacrifices were made to get this game running. There is a lot of noticeable pop-ins, especially when you're exploring out in the islands, but nothing too much. And sometimes there's a lack of texture in certain areas, like the grass. You could have a nice lush grass and then go up a few and then it's gone. And the occasional frame drops. Now the Switch does offer two modes of the game. One is called Performance Mode and the other one is Quality Mode. Of course, I prefer Performance over Quality. I'll put the two modes side by side to show you how they're different, though when I was playing it, I really didn't see a difference. I'm having a wonderful time playing on the Nintendo Switch, though I am really curious how it runs on the PlayStation 5, 4, and the Steam. So there is one gripe I have with the game, and that is the lack of accessibility options. I wish there was better options for the text because it could be really small and it's white, so it's probably a bit hard to read at times, and when characters are having conversations it's hard to pick up. So I really wish they would put more text options for us, make it bold, make it black, so we could read it better. And another big thing in this game is the music. It has the island feeling themes of the first two games, but now it's a more modernized approach with a lot of island tunes, but with an epic twang to it. I can't articulate music. I've said this in my intro to Atelier. It's hard for me to express music because I just don't have the word for it. But it's really good music nonetheless. In conclusion, I've been enjoying this game so much. Thank you again, Koei Tecmo, for the review code. I will do a full review of the game once I've played more of it and experienced more of it. And I can't wait for you guys to experience it as well. If you have any questions or thoughts, please let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, hit that like button. And if you like my channel and would love to see more, please subscribe. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the day. And as always, play a good game. Peace, peace.